Rodrigo de Jaga wants it back. He gets it back and leaves it through for Holtby. Oh, it's off the line. It's off the line.
Let's move on to the Liverpool game. Liverpool traveled to Craven Cottage and they came away with just a draw. Fulham take the lead uh, in the first half in the 25th minute. Absolute banger of a goal. Allison couldn't have done anything. And yeah, Fulham looked like they were up for that game from minute one. And yeah, what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we were just blown away. I think away days have now become significantly more difficult. And before we talk about the Liverpool game, I just want to make a point about how that disparity of having fans in the stadium and the effect that it has, and to have certain stadiums have fans and certain stadiums don't have fans. I feel that's a significant disadvantage because right now it's so difficult. Maybe not for United, but for all other clubs, it's so difficult to win away from home. And Liverpool have had a dismal form away from home, and it was just heightened again where we couldn't muster that confidence and that playing ability. I mean, I don't understand, right? Because you play against Leicester, you blow them away 3-0, then you draw against Brighton. Then you come back at home and you play against Wolves, you blow them away 4-0, and then you come to Fulham and you draw 1-1. I mean, it's just I don't understand what it is about them. But when they're playing at home, it's like they have these supercharged abilities and they're all playing magnificent football. But then when they just go away from home, they just cannot do the basic things. I mean, I don't think it's I mean, you can leave on the ball ability, but it's the off the ball intensity which is just lacking. And I feel there's a study also which says that apart from Chelsea, all teams have been pressing less. And I think this is due to
Yeah.
the fact about how much fixture congestion there is and how managers like Pep and Klopp don't want their teams pressing for like 60, 70 odd minutes just because of fear of, tiredness,
Injuries.
right, and injuries. And that's why they've slacked off a bit. But I feel when they slack off, they're not compensating in the midfield because there we lost that midfield battle for that first 30 minutes. We could not string two passes together within that midfield without getting closed down by just sheer intensity. Like I don't feel it was Fulham's impeccable game. I mean, they did some insane switch of plays, stuff that Liverpool used to do back in the day. I mean, I can't say back in the day because it was just last season, but I mean, the way that they switched from fullback to fullback was really impressive. But what impressed me more than that was just their intensity. Players like Loftus Cheek and the way that he can get the ball back. Players like Robinson on the left hand side, who it's just that sheer willingness to get the ball driving at players. And yeah, like you said, you can't take anything away from that Bobby Reed strike. I think it was Addison had absolutely no chance of
No chance.
getting to the ball. Like I don't think any keeper in the world is saving that. I mean, the dipping curve on that was just impeccable. So I
It was
mean,
one of those shots like when you play, when you hit it, you know that it's going in.
oh
And you
yeah,
can almost just start your celebration. Like you can start running away to one of the corner flags and start celebrating. It was a really nice strike. And like you had mentioned the intensity, they had that intensity like from minute one. They looked like they uh, didn't care that, it was Liverpool that's coming to play. It's really nice to see a team like Fulham take the game by the scruff of the neck, and more teams should try to impose their identity on the football pitch against teams like Liverpool, against teams like City. That's how you get the better of them. Because if you let Liverpool control the ball and get comfortable, you're not going to have a good time. You have to make them work for everything, and that's how you get a result at these games. So
yeah,
again, like
yeah.
hats off to Scott Parker setting up that team. It
Yeah.
was a brilliant game to watch.
Yeah, I mean, the way that they set up again in the second half, they were very compact defensively, and they wanted to win. They thought that yeah, we're gonna get these 3 points, and we're gonna defend for our lives, and we're gonna make the champions pay. And like in retrospect, yeah, I mean, if Liverpool lost that game, I don't think anyone would have said, nah, they deserved a draw because they didn't. I mean, that penalty was, yeah, it was pretty harsh to give, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know anymore. So I don't want to comment, but yeah, I guess it is what it is at the end of the day. Um, but I'm more annoyed about the the substitutions, actually. I was annoyed that he took off Trent. I was annoyed that he brought on Divock Origi. As in, this all goes back to that game against Midgetland. Sorry. But in midweek, because Jota got injured, Salah played a full 90 minutes that game. Even Trent played that game. So I mean, I understand that his Jota's a backup player and he has to play that game, and that's probably why he got injured. And those things you can't really prevent. But Trent, right? Why he took off Trent because he wants to save him up for the Spurs game, and he brings on Nico. Now, when he's brought on Nico for the remainder of the game, our attack is only on the right hand side. Robertson didn't even get the ball after that. And Nico can't cross a ball for his life, but he still attempts the cross. I mean, I don't understand. Like it's clear that I'm not gonna say that it's Nico. I'm gonna blame Klopp. I'm sure Klopp has told Nico, bombard that right hand side, put balls into the box, be like Trent. And I'm sure Nico wants to be like Trent, to be someone who has that kind of an identity in the club. That's probably what Nico's going for. I mean, he's trying this and it's not working. Robinson's just closing him down. He can't get a single ball into the box. So why do this? As in, why play Trent for full 90 minutes against midweek in Denmark just to bring him off like at 60, 70 minutes against Fulham in a game that you are chasing? This is what I don't understand this. Like if the league is more clearly that the league fixture against Fulham is more important than a dead fixture in Denmark, and do bring off Trent at whatever time, halftime, and you have five subs there. Bring off Trent at halftime in the Champions League so that he can play full 90 minutes because we really needed Trent, especially after we were 1-1. We were 1-1, and especially after the play was always coming down the right hand side. We needed that kind of ability and we didn't have it. So I'm really, this whole season, I've been really frustrated with Klopp and his substitutions and his in game management. And yeah, this was just another. So I remember in the Brighton fixture, he took off Salah, a decision that I didn't agree with. Salah was really annoyed. And yeah, it's just so weird. I feel like he's slowly losing his marbles. And I don't know. I have no
Yeah.
logical explanation for this. Like he's blamed, you know what he said in after midweek? He said, I don't like VAR because it's cold in Denmark and when you're waiting for VAR, you have to stand in the court. I mean, like, come on, man. Like, how can you say this when this has got nothing to do? I mean, like, yeah, you're standing in the cold, but like you're professional footballers having to play in England. Okay, they're not coming from countries like Qatar or like Brazil or wherever. You're playing in England. England's always cold, right? And to make that as a complaint, it was, and it's not, and it's just cold and wet as well in England. I mean, like the stuff that he says and the way he shifts blame, Klopp, the way he blames the grass, the way he blames the wind, and it's never like I made a mistake or the players made a mistake. I mean, that's Jose. This is prime Jose, where Jose
Yeah.
will tell you that these players did not perform well or I made a mistake, right?
Yeah.
So I want to see that ownership from the manager. I want to see that, hey, this is my fault. I did this because it's fine, man. People make mistakes. This is something that that PGMLO or whatever they also can't do when they're supporting referees for the VAR game or after VAR decisions. I mean, just come on and say that you made a mistake, man. Like how difficult is it? Sorry, I went on
People.
quite a rant there.
Yeah. No, so like when you're talking about that, you would just be like Klopp or the PGML are just trying to save face, right? Like they don't want to look like a clown. I don't think Klopp. I think Klopp's ego He might showcase it that he doesn't have that much of an ego, but he definitely does.
Oh,
He
100%.
doesn't want to. He doesn't want to look like he is a man that makes mistakes, and he rarely does. But yeah, I get where you're coming from, but I'm not sure if that's going to instill confidence in the rest of the team and maybe the fans, because like we've talked about this many a time that people just seem very fragile at this moment. So if he does come out and say that, hey, I made a mistake, the next thing is going to be like Klopp admits mistake, Liverpool fans outraged, the pundits are going to be like, maybe he thinks of it that way as well.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I'm
I'm
not
sure.
sure if,
Yeah, you're right. You're
yeah,
right.
that's going to happen.
Mm.
I don't think like managers have the, first of all, they don't have like, their egos are too big for that. And I think Mourinho, when he does it, he tries to send a message through that as well. Like, if he says that his players didn't perform, he wants that to be like, he's not a manager that's going to put, like, give them a pat on the shoulder and say, we'll get him next time. He's going to be like, dude, you suck. Like, get better, get good, kid, and try to rally them that way. So it's the type of personality at the end of the day. But yeah, the excuses need to stop. The excuses, yeah, there's no
I mean,
excuses.
like, this is just another one in a long chain of just rubbish excuses that he says. I mean, whatever. I mean, the thing about Mourinho, yeah, I think he's so mature now. I think he's learned. He's learned from his time in Chelsea, from his time in United, and he knows now like how to act with the press. He knows how to act with players now. And I think this is probably like the final evolution of Jose. He is
His final form.
the final form where like he's trying to cultivate. He's trying really hard, I think, to I mean, especially with that documentary, you can see that he's trying to cultivate an environment which is both supportive and harsh and stern and like matter of fact, but as well as an enjoyable one, right? He wants to like screw around with the players, like get them to play cricket, buy ham for the whole team, like 500 pound ham for the whole team after they beat City. I mean, these are the kind of comical things, and like being on Instagram, trying to troll his players, etc. So I think he's kind of understood that being a hard ass, being this cocky guy, doesn't bode well with neither the players nor the press nor yourself actually. And he's trying to find that right balance,
Yeah.
and I think he found it. So I think the way that he's acting now and the results that he's getting and the way that he's coming out and saying like, hey, we played bad against Antwerp, okay, or we played bad against Palace, like those, it's good, like it's good to see that. And yeah, I think, yeah, good for Jose, good for Tottenham.
Good for Tottenham, who are, I don't know, this is a very strange season. If Tottenham come out with a league title at the end of this is going to be very strange.
Yeah, I mean, like
But
if they do that, I can assure you that will be the first and last league title that they're gonna win in a long time. It's
yeah,
gonna go
and
next.
you know that next season Mourinho is going to leave them when they're like 15th or something.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think he will mature and then he will unravel himself. At the once he wins the title, I think like he'll get poisoned like a Disney villain, and he'll just go back into his bad trip and go back into the cancer. But yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen. I really like Jose and I really respect him, and I want
Yeah.
him. I wish him success.